Hello family, it's your girl Modee here. Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Modee. If you're new here and wondering what we're all about, well, this is a platform where we openly and transparently share about life's experiences for the purpose of learning, of living with intention, growing in our faith, and more importantly, seeing grace, that is God, in the everyday life. I would like to start this episode by reading you an excerpt from my book, Being Different. If you haven't got your copy yet, hurry now to Amazon or Draft to Digital to grab a copy in any format that best suits you. This story I would take from the chapter titled Our Family Values, and it reads as such. Storytelling, the use of proverbs, and sarcasm were also the order of the day in our home. With my dad especially, sarcasm came so naturally to him that you need to pay good attention to his words to fully understand the joke. While he always made us laugh, there was often a lesson or two embedded within the sarcastic moment that needed drawing out. With my mom, it wasn't so frequent. But when she was having such a moment, it was always impactful. One incident of such that I vividly recall occurred when I was asking her for something that we had both agreed was needed. So she told me that she would get this as soon as they had the money for it. But I kept pestering her to get a commitment to a more immediate timeline, knowing that my parents always did whatever they said. As I kept on with a justification for a now solution, she stopped and very calmly said to me, "Okay, why don't we wait till nightfall? At midnight," Mom continued, "we will both put on balaclavas, scale the fence to our neighbor's house, and steal theirs. Will that be okay?" That was so not the response I expected, and thinking she was being serious, I worriedly asked why she would want us to steal from the neighbors. "Isn't stealing supposed to be wrong?" I asked. Mom replied, "Well, since you refuse to be content with the fact that we cannot afford it now, then the only way I can give it to you is to steal it." With that, the penny dropped. Mom was being sarcastic about the scenario, but serious at the same time. And a moral that I put in my book that I took from that experience was prioritize your needs and wants. There are things you think are needed now and may cause some form of, in quote, death, if not acquired immediately. But if you take a closer look at the reason for it, you find that the acquisition is not time-bound, and you will survive without it. It also pays to wait as long as is necessary to get the best quality available of whatever it is that you need, and to be content with what you have or can afford while you wait. Now, you probably have guessed what the topic of this episode is. On this, we'll be discussing the illusion of things, which in today's world is robbing us of a very important value. That is contentment. This was a lesson my parents taught us from a very early young age. To them, we were to learn from others for the purpose of becoming better versions of ourselves. We were never to compare ourselves to other people or even to ourselves as siblings, not to compete with others, because each person has their own race and their own purpose. And we were to focus on our own race at our own pace and to put your energy into achieving your own purpose. The Bible is replete with many examples and stories of why we need to be content with who we are and with what we have. One of such is in Hebrews chapter 13 verse 5, where we are encouraged to live free of the love of money. There's another one in Philippians chapter 4 verse 11 and 12, where Apostle Paul was talking about how he has learned to be content when he has little, that is when he has need, or when he has much, whatever the situation, to be content. But I'd like to read you one from the book of 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 6 to 11. And it reads as such. I'm reading from the New International Version. It says, "But godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into the world, and we can take nothing out of it. But if we have food and clothing, we will be content with that. Those who want to get rich fall into temptation and a trap, and into many foolish and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. Some people, eager for money, have wandered from the truth, from the faith, and pierced themselves with many griefs. But you, man of God," Paul was talking to Timothy here, "but you, man of God, flee from all this and pursue righteousness, godliness, faith, love, endurance, and gentleness." Notice how when the Bible speaks of contentment, it also mentions the love of money and the desire for things. Now, let's be abundantly clear. The Bible does not in any way suggest that it is wrong or that it is bad to be rich or wealthy. It talks about the love of money. As God expects and commanded us, our love should only be to God and to people. The love of money or the drive to acquire things only makes you a slave to those things. And this is why God says to us not to have such desires. In today's world, you find that people seek after instant gratification, thereby setting their hearts, their focus, their energy on acquiring things at all costs and by any means necessary. Before acquiring anything, no matter how cheap or expensive, let me encourage you to ask 3 questions. Do I really need it? Can I afford this? And why do I want it? These are 3 good questions to always check what your motives or your intention are. If your response to any of this is because it is the in thing, or that is the next thing to show how wealthy you are, or perhaps by having that thing, you will be able to belong to a group or a society, then dare I say that you might be pursuing it for the wrong reasons. Can I encourage you to consider the things that you already have? Because by pursuing that next big thing at all cost, it may end up robbing you of your joy and your peace. Life isn't in how many possessions that you have, but about the value that you add to others. God has deposited so much in you that you can thank Him for and bless others with. So rather than look outside for what more can you get in order to make you feel happy, why not look inwards? Look inside. What is it that you have that you can bless others with and make a difference wherever you are? The excessive focus on wealth and possessions in today's societies have been the root cause of so many evils that we hear of, from corrupt leadership to murder and the callous taking of another's life, to sexual abuse and abuse of all kinds, jealousy, envy, the list is endless. These things are destroying our societies rather than build them. They have impact on individuals, on families, neighborhoods, nations, you name it. And this is why God so lovingly has given us the way out in being content. If you're a parent, can I encourage you that it is worth all the effort to teach your children this value of being content. They don't have to have everything that they ask for when they ask for it, especially if it is not essential to life. By teaching them to wait, you're actually helping them learn from an early age how to exercise their muscle or their ability to be content with whatever it is that they have. If you're an adult that is still learning these things, can I encourage you? It's not too late. You can start by removing yourself from groups that pressure you or make you want to develop the habit of constantly acquiring things. Get help if you need to, in order to break the patterns or the addictive habits. As the Bible encourages us in 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 11 that we read earlier, pursue God's righteousness in place of the desire for things. Pursue faith, love, gentleness, endurance. These are things that will do you good in the long run. As a famous hymn puts it says, when you look at others with their lands and gold, think that Christ has promised you his wealth untold. Count your many blessings money cannot buy, your reward in heaven or your home on high. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord has done. Friends, I pray that God will keep giving you the courage to say no to just acquiring things for the purpose of maybe show off or to belong, but that He will give you a thirst and a pursuit of righteousness and a focus on the reason why He has created you, so that you can keep making a difference wherever you are. That brings us to the end of our time together today. Until next time, please remember to subscribe, like, and share. If this has been of any benefit to you, think about other people that you can share that can also join this community, and we learn together. Keep living with intention and always live with eternity on your mind.